We got through the test. It's finally here, opening day. We're doing this for real now. What emotions are you feeling as you get ready to strap in?
All of them.
Everyone.
Every single one. No, it's great to finally get going. We had the rain day yesterday, and I'm kind of just working through everything in my mind, trying not to think about it and the enormity that the month of May actually is. So we just work down through the test items, and hopefully we've got a good car heading into qualifying.
We talked a lot about the Rahal cars at the GP this past week and how strong of a showing it was just for the entire group. Have you been able to kind of feel that momentum and those good vibes in this kind of pit area, in this garage, as we make the transition to the oval side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's definitely a positive attitude. There is nobody who wants it more on the grid than this team. And I think we've made leaps and bounds and strides forward, and hopefully that will carry over. I know that none of it relates from a road course to an oval, but hopefully the positive momentum is coming our way.
All right, good to have you back. Katherine Legge in the Rahal Letterman Lanigan, number 44, of course, this month, and she'll go for her first laps here in just a little bit. That's right, fastest guy on the track right now at over 229 miles an hour, so that's a big number on day one. I mean, does the car feel like it's got really that much speed in it?
Yeah, probably a little unexpected, to be honest. I think, you know, we did like a 28, then a 29. Yeah, it's good to see that, you know, the PNC Bank number 9, it pulls up strong. So just trying to get through the test plan here. Definitely a few different things that we need to kind of get through. And, you know, we went through that first set of tires now, so we'll go back and try and evaluate and then maybe try and come back out around 2 o'clock for a group run here and see what we can do.
Is the loss of yesterday, you obviously want as much track time as you can get, but is it as big a deal maybe as we would think it would be, or are you okay here with just 2 days?
I think with the tire allotment that you get to, you know, you kind of, if it was all of the days were fine, you know, you'd be pretty low key. This just kind of compresses a little bit, which is kind of nice, so you can actually get into a bit of a flow and a bit of a rhythm. So yeah, it's no effect. I think if you lost another day, then it'd get tricky between qual and race stuff. But right now, I think it's comfortable and a good compromise for everyone.
All right, Scott Dixon fast so far, and as he said, he'll be back out in just a little bit. That is Alex Palou, of course, winner last weekend here at the road course. So we just talked to your teammate. He said he's pretty comfortable, pretty fast. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, so far. I mean, we've done only like 3-4 runs, trying to make sure that everything works. And yeah, the car is pretty fast so far. We need to obviously check a lot of stuff, try and find some more speed like everybody, but it's a good start so far.
What are these days like when you're just kind of trying to find, you know, hundredths of a second, right? We always talk about how close IndyCar racing is, but these days where it's so spread out, how do you kind of evaluate progress and successful changes and that sort of thing?
I mean, today maybe it's a bit different just because we lost all yesterday, and we still have some new parts from IndyCar to evaluate here at the IMS. So yeah, we'll get through that big stuff today in the next 2 or 3 hours, and then just try and adjust the car a little bit for confidence, especially in traffic, and then I guess on Friday we'll think about qualifying.
Do you adjust? So that's interesting. Do you adjust for confidence or comfort? Well, I mean, is there a difference, right? Because I think you have to be comfortable to be confident, but sometimes you're not going to be comfortable to go fast here. Is that right?
Yeah, but I mean, you need to be comfortable. Otherwise, it doesn't. Yeah, it's going to be a long day. So we try and make it comfortable first, and then the engineers will worry about getting some more speed.
All right, Alex Palou second right now.
That's interesting. He mentioned.
Who is just climbing out of the Andretti Autosport number 27. So you've got one of these month of Mays under your belt now, of course, last year with AJ Foyt Racing. What did this month and the start of this kind of process feel like this year, just having one under your belt? Was it different, less nerves maybe than last year?
Well, it's different because these guys have worked so hard over the off season to come up with some really cool setups that it's kind of like just big packages that you throw out the car, which is something I've never done before. And it's cool to see how it's kind of all equating, and then also working with teammates where we're able to branch off and do separate things to try and make one car good is also a different philosophy that I haven't been used to. So it's been enjoyable. It's been a smooth process thus far. Car feels fast. I think all of us have pretty good cars here. Andretti's always been pretty good here. So yeah, we're just ticking along right now. Glad the weather is good today. Obviously, that puts a damper on some things, and if you miss a day, but today's going pretty good.
You guys all, I know, work well together throughout the year at every other racetrack, but here, when you're at the same place for 2 weeks effectively, and there is so much on track time. Are the teammate relationships and dynamics even that much more important and that much more intensive as far as when and how much and how often you guys communicate?
Well, it's definitely important to, I'd say it's not as important for the racing aspect of things as it is for the understanding of what each driver likes and how it's going to benefit you or not benefit you, right? So it's important to know what other guys like and to not lead yourself astray trying to follow their setup or something, because it's just something that they feel comfortable with. Fortunately for us, none of us drivers can need to drive something differently from each other, so I think that helps us massively. We've got kind of 6 cars under the same umbrella, and we're all able to branch off and do things that we know are going to help each other if we find something. So that's what we're doing here.
Last thing, I'll let you debrief. What's the balance for you guys as far as qualifying focused runs here versus race traffic runs? Are you guys mixing it up? Have you tried one or the other yet, or where are you at there?
Seemingly everyone right now is working, or most of the people are working on quali stuff right now. As we have a lot of tires, just go through some tires, get some quali sims in, which we just did now, and then we'll start getting into some race running, I think, this afternoon as the track rubber's in and people start working on that more solely.
All right, there's our answer, guys. Kyle Kirkwood, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us for opening day at the Indianapolis 500. James Hinchcliffe, Kevin Lee, Dylan Welch has been with us. And there you see Nate Ryan from NBCSports.com joining us with a special guest.
I'm here with Conor Daly, Kevin. And Conor, you were speaking this morning about you guys had a great open test, a lot of enthusiasm coming in here. How has it been so far today?
Well, I mean, we've only run one set of tires, so the funny thing about this place is really every day has a different characteristic to it. I would say, what we felt at the open test, definitely a little bit different today. But I mean, we just run through things, right? Like we have a lot of things to try. All 3 cars have a lot of things to try. Something that Renus liked right out the gate. We didn't have on yet, so we're going to go try that now. So yeah, there's just a lot to be done. I mean, every day of practice here means so much because there's so much you can try and there's so much that might help. I mean, millimeter perfect on different things here and there could totally change your day. So it seems a little greasy today because of the heat. But it's always hot on race day, so that's good.
And especially this year, Conor, so many things to try with the aero changes. You were telling us earlier there are myriad combinations that you can have. Is it just going to be the next 3 days just figuring out what works, what doesn't? You might not even have landed anywhere near where you might be for Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, what could be annoying is that all the aero that we went through at the open test might be entirely different this week. So, we might even try to rerun through some of those things that we thought we eliminated at the test as like, all right, we probably don't like those. But you just never know. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, as always, I think we're comfortable here. I think all 3 cars, we'll have speed. It just depends on the day. And then these days are always, whoever gets that best tow, which I tell you what, Scott Dixon's pretty good at it, but he's also going to be probably the fastest car all month long. I'd say that right now. So, we'll see if we can beat him come qualifying weekend.
But at least you feel like you're going to be in the ballpark. I know the Ed Carpenter racing cars, you were telling us earlier today, you guys have just been slow. How good does it feel to be out here and know that this is your bread and butter, the ovals?
Well, it's nice for sure. And I think, these cars here can't change a ton. So thankfully, and the surface hasn't changed a ton, so it'll be good. I think we're just going to work through these days, try to progress the way we need to, get in traffic, also try to run by ourselves. Just kind of every day we're going to do a bit of both and just try to work our way forward slowly but surely.
All right, the thoughts of Conor Daly. Let's go over to Dylan Welch.
And we've caught up with Marcus Ericsson, of course, defending winner of the Indianapolis 500. Have to imagine it feels good to be back here in oval trim, making laps on the oval, given what took place here last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's always special coming here and driving on the speedway, but obviously being here as a defending winner is it's even more special. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It's great to see so many fans here already. Yesterday with the bad weather and today, so it's great to be back.
The Ganassi cars look strong on the timing sheet. Do they feel that strong? Does your car feel that good?
Yeah, car feels really good. We've built on that baseline that we had last year, and we were the team to beat last year, and we feel like we're even stronger this year. So early signs is good for sure.
That's bad news for everybody else, I think, if you guys are better than you were last year.
Yeah, but I'm sure everyone else has improved as well. So the competition is going to be tougher than ever. So we need to
keep our heads down and try and always improve. That's the name of the game in IndyCar. So that's what we're doing. It's a long week, so we need to get through everything we want to get through, but definitely a good start.
What are you guys working on today? More qualifying or more race type running?
No, we're on race trim and race focus today, and then probably all day tomorrow. Maybe end of the day tomorrow we're going to look at some qualifying stuff, but then obviously from Friday onwards it's all focused on qualifying. But today and most of tomorrow is going to be still just race stuff for us.
All right, thank you, Marcus. All good down here in the CGR pit, guys.
Last season, I'm trying to explain to him everything that he told me, the knowledge that I learned, and just trying to be open book. Just so, the quicker he's up to speed, the better we're going to be able to do with, working different setups and both of us advancing on the top of the grid.
What else do you want to accomplish here the rest of this afternoon? Anything that's specifically on the list?
So this morning we kind of worked on trying to find a car to where we can work off of. We did a little bit of traffic running then. I think for the rest of the afternoon, it's going to be trying to find, pace on our own, trying to help a little bit on qualifying. And I think right at the end, maybe the last set or two, if people are ready to play, I'm excited to go in some traffic running.
All right. Thanks, David.
Well, this has been, I think, a pretty eventful 2 hours. Dylan, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, I'll jump in here, Kevin. We got Marco Andretti. We heard the radio communication about what he's battling or what he wants to do. So what were you feeling out there with your race car?
If you heard that, I should probably apologize, but
I don't think we heard all of it then.
No, it just tried to swap ends in one, and we went to reset to my test best because we were on a not preferred setup to do a car compare. So we waste half the day doing that, and then it's not my test car, so we got to go back and restring it again and see what happened because, I've been down this road where you start chasing your tail, but it's so far out of the window, and, it was doing 5 things in one corner, and then we're on race downforce, things trying to kill me, so we just have to go back and reset it.
You've done this long enough now where you just kind of jump in and do the 500, but is the process year to year the same of kind of just trying to go through your checklist and get the car where you want it to be?
At this place, every day's different, let alone the year, so I don't know. It's just about adapting and staying with the track and staying with the window, which we had a big window on that car, so there's something going on. We'll figure it out.
All right, Marco Andretti, the 98 team, headed back to the garage to try and sort out their race car.
Here with Romain Grosjean, Marco Andretti's teammate, and Marco was just saying that the window is pretty large. They don't really feel like they're there yet, but it sounds like you guys are a little bit closer in terms of where the car is.
Yeah, I think we're making progress. We haven't yet decided the full final setup, but a few items we tried were interesting, so good conditions today. But yeah, a bit more work to be done. I think the still cars are a bit faster than us out there, but there's more time to find out.
How much more comfortable do you feel this year as opposed to last year as a rookie?
Yeah, this year we've just have a better car. Texas was an eye-opener for me in terms of what do we need on a racing car to feel good. So I think yes, we're getting in a good spot, and I know much more what I want.
All right, he had a good run at Texas. We'll see if he can repeat it here at Indy.
Dylan, what does Ed Carpenter think about it?
Well, let's find out. So you've done a couple qual sims, but have you done any race trim and kind of tried anything different with the aero configurations at all yet?
We were in race configuration, just kind of working through a test list this morning, and then, there's so many parts now. We kind of went back to what we think is qual configuration just to get a balance check on that for, now it's an even shorter week, so just trying to make sure we get a start on all the different areas we need to work on, but changing gears and going back out for race running the rest of the day.
When you jump back in this car as a guy who only races a couple times a year, what is the month of May process like for you, just as far as having an expanded time period to kind of get on track and work through everything that you have to here?
Yeah, honestly, I kind of go through the same process that I have every year going back to my rookie year, like things that I learned from my mentors back then. I try to just stick to the same process that I've always used, and it served me well, and tried to pass that on to the guys here. But yeah, that's the beauty of Indy is you can, we all get going quick, but you can really have time to go through a process that you don't necessarily have at other 2-day shows.
All right, put your team owner cap on for a second. How are the other 2 cars?
We haven't really had a full debrief because we've kind of been going back at different times, but I think everybody's fairly happy, so find out at the end of the day.
All right, that's Conor. We just heard firing up and taking off in the background. Ed's up next, and he's going to climb aboard the 33 here in a sec. Cowden, so you're here now with the team that won this race last year. They were so strong last year. What's impressed you most about the way Chip Ganassi Racing does things here during the month of May?
obviously the organization is very impressive. You know, everything is in the right place and the right people, and really, if anything, just the resource. They're using resource to make most of it, and preparation was just simply impressive. Now, of course, today on track, you know, we 4 drivers dividing a few different programs, and I wasn't particularly happy with the kind of a sensation that I'm getting in the morning. So we're just working on to what's the best way. And certainly in the afternoon, the group runs, for the Ganassi group runs, it's definitely was a great hint for me to what it needs to be done. And we just apply it, and then we got a good tow. So that's why we had a very successful platform right now. But we still need to go through the details.